as they ran. He hacked into the city's systems to make the traffic lights flicker, and the billboards display confusing, abstract designs, creating a chaotic symphony of diversions on every street they ran down. Kenny was an expert in the shadows, thanks to his background as a scavenger. Ordinarily, he'd be adept at finding abandoned buildings and subway stations for them to hide in. Unfortunately, they were currently downtown in the Justinian district, where there weren't many places for them to hide. Morris was the leader. All three of them knew that, despite the fact that she'd been Spider's employee only a few months ago. She led the way as her cybernetic form shifted and adapted with each turn, a predator on the run. When she stopped without warning, the other two almost stopped as well. She waved them on, and they realized she intended to eliminate their pursuers. Spider wished he could stop to watch her do it, but he had no intention of staying any closer to the pursuing androids than necessary. Morris flicked her wrist, deploying a flick blade as the shadowy figures poured from the alley. The first time she'd met a Mark IV, it'd been almost too much for her to handle alone. Mark IV androids had robust bodies with metal frames below synthetic skin. They were difficult to kill without heavy weapons. Morris was also built of synthetic skin over a hard metal frame, although her frame was not quite as strong. She knew better than to try to take them out with strength alone. Instead, she relied on the precision of her work with the flick blade. As the first of the androids stepped from the alley, Morris stabbed it in the neck at a precise point. She'd been studying how C.O.R.P.S.E made all its android models and knew a hard thrust at this exact spot would sever the brain's ability to communicate with the body. The android stumbled away from her, lost control of its limbs, and ran into an oncoming truck. As the truck and the android got to know each other, Morris cut again and severed the synthetic tendon in another android's right arm. It lost control of its weapon, a pistol of high enough caliber to kill an android. As the gun flew from her hand and turned end over end, Morris caught it in midair and leveled it on the pursuing androids. She pulled the trigger 4 times. The first shot went through the head of the one she'd wounded, instantly destroying its powerful artificial brain. Her second shot severed the spinal cord of another android, running up behind it, causing it to crumple like a rag doll. The third bullet lodged in the right eye of another android, and the fourth shattered the right leg of still another, collapsing it to the ground. Morris tossed the pistol aside. She was unwilling to keep it for fear it might have an embedded tracking device. More androids were coming, but they were much farther behind. Morris turned and ran. She caught up with Spider and Kenny a few moments later. They raced through the Justinian district's nightlife neighborhood, weaving among large crowds of drunk people celebrating something or other. A billboard showed an image of a woman they knew. Nadia Prokipo, the city's leading investigative journalist, stared down at the world below the sign. Spider's hacking software seized control of the billboard as they ran by, changing the words Nadia Prokipo to "Help, androids are chasing me." No one paid any attention to either version of the billboard. As they navigated through the sensory overload, Morris's internal systems suddenly pinged with an incoming message. "You are currently being pursued by a large group of Mark IV androids. This is only the beginning of what C.O.R.P.S.E plans to do to you. Believe me when I tell you, Morris, you have no idea how much danger you are really in. Have no fear. I can help you. I'm willing to extend my protection to you. If you accept this offer, at least provisionally, all you have to do is nod. The Veil." Morris had no idea who or what the Veil was, or how it knew so much about her current situation. A mysterious entity offering her its protection wasn't exactly an everyday event. Morris's initial skepticism was visible in her guarded expression as she scanned the message multiple times. She was still running, while ensuring she didn't get too far ahead of Spider and Kenny. The urgency of their situation left no room for hesitation. She suddenly decided, using a subtle nod to signal her acceptance. A few seconds later, she glanced behind them to look for her pursuers and saw no sign of them. Morris ducked into another alley and crouched behind an overflowing dumpster to give her companions a moment to rest. "Did they give up?" Spider asked. "Or someone called them off, or maybe drove them off somehow. I don't know." She told them about the message, and they both glanced at the mouth of the alley as if they expected it to fill with androids at any moment. Instead...